It makes me really sad that we've gotten so angry and so divided. But why can't we have a civil talk about our disagreements? And you can't do that today, especially in Hollywood. My name is Kevin Sorbo, and this is my story. So you might know me from Hercules, The Legendary Journeys. I got to brag a little bit. That was the most watched show in the world, 7 years. So where it began for me, I grew up in a little town called Mound, Minnesota. And 11 years old, we took a field trip into the Guthrie Theater, a very famous theater in Minneapolis. And so we went to see Shakespeare's The Merchant of Venice. Now, number one, I was 11, right? Shakespeare, I don't know what the heck they were saying on stage, but I was mesmerized by the actors. I was mesmerized by people being mesmerized. I was looking around on the way home. My mom said, "What do you think?" And I said, "You know something, Mom? I'm gonna be an actor." And I got that nice little pat on the leg, and my mom said, "That's nice, dear." And it wasn't until I got to college. And I had a double major in marketing and advertising, but I had a minor in drama because I knew what I really wanted to do. I gotta say there were some sidetracks in my life before I made the big move to Los Angeles. And it's always about a girl, right? So I met a girl my last year of college, and she was a big-time model, and she had already been traveling the world, and she was only 19, I was 22. She goes, "Come and spend one summer in Italy with me. Come on, we'll go to Milan." I said, "Okay." So I go to Milan. She had an agent, I didn't. I was just like, I'm gonna spend 3 months, have a fun time in summer. I'm walking on the street, who's walking at me but with his bodyguards was Johnny Versace. And he sees me and he goes, "Who are you? Where are you from?" And I said, "Well, I'm from Minnesota." "Are you a model?" I said, "Not really, I'm an actor." She goes, "No, you must be in my shows. I love you, you're tall, you're big." And that got me going, and as I spent 8 months modeling in Milan. I went to Paris then for 6 months, and I went to Munich for a year and a half, then I went to Zurich for 3 months, and London 3 months. So I spent 3.5 years in Europe, what was supposed to be 3 months. You know, it was interesting to see people's view of America, because everywhere I went, there was an interest in America. There was, I want to go there, what's it like, you know, because they get all our movies, they got all our television shows. I mean, I'm living in all those countries over there, and it's 90% of it is American stuff. I remember, I'm gonna jump forward here to when I got Hercules, because I shot that in New Zealand. But this was common in places, even in Europe, but this cracks me up the most. The first year of filming Hercules, no one obviously knew about the series at that time. And I would go and work out at this gym that I joined there, and this one guy walks up to me and he goes, "Oh, you're that Yank. You're that Yank shooting Hercules, eh?" And I went, "Well, yeah, I'm an actor. I'm filming the television series Hercules." He goes, "America, I've been to America, hated it." And I looked at him, and I don't know why I thought of this, but I'm kind of a smart ass to begin with. And I said, "Well, then don't go back. We have enough assholes there already." And I walked away from him. And I kept thinking a dumbbell's gonna be in the back of the head or something. But you would run into people like that, no matter what country you go to. For the most part, people liked America. I think to travel the way I did was huge to make me grow up. It matured me, there's no question about it. Moving to LA, I wasn't as intimidated as I know I would have been at the age of 22. I know that was huge for me to do that. I came out with a very positive attitude that I'm gonna make it. And I knew it wasn't easy. I mean, they call it the city of angels, right? It's really a city of broken dreams. A buddy guy gave me great advice. He said, "Sorbs, remember, it's called show business, not show. Treat it like a business." And that's what I did. I treated it like a business. I was relentless with my agents. If I found out about an audition for something, I'd go to my agent, call him up. "Kevin, I got 100 clients." I said, "I don't give a crap about your clients. Do you think they care about me?" My mantra was, get me in the door. Let me have the chance to be rejected. Just get me in the door. I was hungry for it, and I wanted to make sure I kept working. And since those years, I've shot over 60 movies, and I've been very fortunate to have a nice, long career, and I hope it continues. The difference today, I think, is back then to compare to now. I think you've got to play even more of a game now. You got to be ready to, I think, bite your lip more than ever in the climate that's going on in America today, the climate that's going on in the world, because you've got this whole woke thing and this cancel culture where people come after you and it can tear you down for something you said 30 years ago, which is insane to me. And these are the same people, apparently, are perfect people that have never, you know, what does it say in the Bible? You know, ye without sin cast the first stone. But I didn't notice it until I got up to Canada, where I filmed my second series, Andromeda. And I started noticing it more on the set there when two of the actors on the show found out I was conservative, and they said, "You're Republican, you're against education." And I went, "I'm against education?" I said, "What?" I said, that blew my mind. But then when I started doing more and more movies, that's when I started hearing people saying stuff on the set, and I would challenge people. I'm like, well, what do you mean by that? I mean, they love their labels. You're a homophobe, you're a racist, you're an anti-Semite. And I go, okay, tell me how I am. Where does that come from? I've been on the set of so many movies and TV shows in 30 plus years, and I've worked with so many people that are gay, lesbian, whatever. There's not one that would say I was a horrible person to work with. There's not one. But they love their labels, and it's so easy to throw labels at people. And like I said, now we live in a culture where it's you're guilty until proven innocent, when it used to be the other way around. I was at a charity golf event out in Palm Springs, and I said something, and one of the guys pulls me aside. He says, are you conservative? I said, why are we talking like we're doing a drug deal over here in the corner? You know, because he pulled me in the corner of the clubhouse we were sitting in. It's crazy how the damage they can do to your career and how they can destroy people's lives right now. In 2010, there were a couple of incidents that I just said, okay, I've had enough of this. And I remember going back to my wife and saying, I've had enough of the hypocrisy where nobody's pointing it out. And I started getting more vocal. Of course, we had all these, social media was starting to grow in its infancy, but we started to take off. And I started saying stuff. My wife said, you better look out, they're gonna come after you. And I said, all I said was 2 + 2 is 4. I spoke the truth, that's just truth. But she was right. And I got to a point with my agent, who was a big time agent, I was with a long time, and my manager just said, we can't represent you anymore. I said, why? Well, because you're conservative and you're a Christian and I was like, what? And I said, this is an industry that screams more than anybody else for tolerance. You have to be tolerant. You have to be, freedom of speech. And now all that stuff is completely a one-way street. It's like you say what we say or you're out. You're out of the club. Andrew Breitbart said, politics is downstream of culture. Who owns the culture? Hollywood does. Mainstream media does. And you see what's coming out there right now. You see the movies that come out. There's so much hate, anger, divisiveness. Walt Disney said back in the 50s, movies and television will influence the youth. And of course, look what it's doing right now. I mean, there's such an ignorance out there. There's such I don't think people are stupid. I don't think young kids are stupid. I think they're just misguided, they're misled. We got an education system that is, they're telling kids that this is bad and this is good. I never had that when I was in school. I never had that. If I had a math class, they taught math. If it was biology, they taught biology. When I got to college, I never had any professors tell me or get angry at me if I had a different viewpoint than them. I have no recollection of any of that stuff going on. But it's changed drastically in the last 15 years. It's just, it's accelerating on itself. And when I usually confront somebody and say, okay, let's talk about that issue, and all they can do is say, you're wrong. You're wrong. Or science. I go, okay, explain the science to me. It's science, and they walk away because they don't have the answers. That's where they want to be because that's where the news people told them they should be, or the industry of Hollywood told them they should be. There's a weird tipping point right now between reality and just fake information. And unfortunately, people are falling into the trap of going for the stuff that's more fake than real. Here's what's interesting. I tell my liberal friends, I go, you go look. You bring up JFK. JFK was great. And I said, look at his 1960 inauguration speech. Is there any Democrat that talks that way today? And we have to find a way, and I think the liberals got to help lead in that way as well. And the right does as well. We got to find a way to get some sort of common ground. I still have to hope and believe that we're going to eventually reach across and find a way to shake hands and be sincere about it. I hope you enjoyed my story, and I'll tell you what, let's keep Prager-U going. You can make a tax-deductible donation right now to keep this amazing, amazing website up and running. It's so educational, guys. Check it out and make sure you keep this rocking and rolling. Thank you.